beautiful people of the world. My name is Dalton, coach of Ring Selling Boxing, and we'd like to welcome to our podcast. I have my guest, JT, one of my former fighters, and I got Gus, my long-term friend right here. Been with me since day one. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Good, man. How about you?
Doing good, man. Did you guys have a good day today?
It's all right.
Sure did,
all
man.
right. Anything interesting happen today or anything?
I worked all day, man.
Man, I worked my behind bad.
Yeah.
And we had a late night last night doing the podcast, and then I had to go in at 4, and then they was like, we got 2 people on vacation, so you have to do that job.
Mm.
And I'm like, well, I guess I can't go to my office and stall number 3. Cause
Another reason people should like, comment, subscribe, and share, so we can get
Gus
Gus
out the mud.
Out the mud, out the factory. Yes. But he does have his own office. We talked about that last podcast. Yes. He does have his own office. Stall number
3.
Stall number 3. So there you go. You guys have
Actually, I think it's the handicap stall. To be honest, it's big.
Oh, you love it.
I love it.
Do you have a desk?
Hey, no, they're taking my desk. The desk they actually have on the floor, they're taking that out.
And they're gonna put it in the bathroom. No. They're gonna put it in the bathroom because they're like, you're always in there.
You're always in there. You might as well take it in there. Take the paperwork and everything.
Might as well.
Oh man!
That's
all right,
hilarious.
JT. We're gonna go ahead and start getting to our topics, man.
Sweet.
What led you to this moment right here?
Man, it all started about a year and 6 months ago.
Wow, deja vu.
I know. It's almost like we've had this conversation before.
5 minutes ago.
So, like I said, I was out with my family at Beach Bend one day in the summer with my fiance and little girl. You know, just ran into you. Dap each other up. You know, we know each other like since we was little. Mm-hmm. We've been buddies, and you said, "Man, I'm about to open up this boxing gym." He was like, "You gotta come check it out." You know, you was all about it. So I was like, "I'm gonna support my homie." You know, so I showed up, and this is where it's led me, man.
And that's awesome. You've been with me since basically day one.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, from to graduating to seeing you out of Beach Bend, man. That's just. It's crazy. I mean, it's awesome. And like you said earlier, that you want to come support me. And I've mentioned before, I've had people that I assumed were my brothers, talked about, and then have yet to come in here and, buy a shirt or step foot in the gym even.
Right.
And that's just huge that you're like, man, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Right.
Out of all the sports you could have chosen, man, to go into, you decided to go into boxing. What about that?
So, with boxing, man, like, I know all, like, other sports kind of help you in aspects of life. But it seems like boxing really just, like, revolves around life. Like, there are so many, like, fundamental points you can take from the gym and, take it and put it and display that in the real world, And, like I said, had graduated, golf. So, it's something new, too, Like, Glasgow hasn't had a boxing gym, so...
It's something new to bring to the table.
It is.
What I find really cool, really neat about boxing is that it tends to gravitate more to the people that are broken.
Right.
And, a lot of people that are, big names in boxing, come from humble beginnings.
Right.
And, all of us can relate to that, that boxing's kind of made us, tougher and brought us closer together. I think it's really neat.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you went from,
Basically, yeah.
So
golfing, swimming. I mean, in the summer, but yeah.
Then coming into boxing.
Yeah.
Would you say it impacted your life?
Oh, 100%. 100%, man. And when I say it impacted my life, it was for the better. I mean, it's night and day, the guy that I used to be and then the guy that I am today. I don't even like to look back, man. It's like, it's crazy. I got coaches talking about it, but like you said, coming in here and grinding and, just being together and suffering together. I mean, even coming from humble beginnings, I mean, it just brings us closer together, man. It's something else.
I got a question for you, JT.
What's going on, man?
Whenever you first came, did you automatically say, I'm going to compete?
No.
Or was you doing it for the...
I was doing it for, like, the health aspect. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
I never even thought about competing. And
you
then,
didn't?
No, never once.
Wow.
Never once. We were in here training. I had been here probably 4 or 5 months, and then... Dalton had a fighter who went and fought, and I was interested, and I think Jamie brought it up. Little quick.
It kind of came in.
Yeah, it was like,
It was like, let me take that.
Yeah, that seeing the like competitors compete, and because Edwin was in here with us.
You got to actually have a picture on the wall before you guys. That was like, I was like, man, let's go, because I had to go coach some guys out of Bowling Green for one of their events. They didn't have coaches, so I got asked to go out there if I'd be open to wrap some hands up and corner some of the guys. And I reached out to the guys and I said, hey, I'm gonna go do this. You guys should really come along for the benefits of just being there and watch, because technically this is where you guys are gonna be at if you plan to want to compete. And we got a picture out there, and you guys loved it.
Yeah,
you guys watched the fights, and I was like, when your weight class comes out, you guys really pay attention. Be honest with yourself. Could I compete with that guy? Would I be a good match for him? Would I win? Would I lose? Would it be close? Be real with yourself. And you guys loved it, man.
Yeah.
I remember talking to you guys after the fights, and you guys were like, man, I love it.
Yeah, it was
I
crazy.
can't wait.
Like,
you and Chase were just ecstatic.
Seeing those heavyweights there compete, man, and like knowing what I was capable of back at the gym, it was like, it's kind of like.
Was you scared? Like, when you first came in, was you like.
To the gym?
Yeah, to the gym. Was you scared a little bit?
Yeah. Everybody got like that nerve.
Nervous.
Like, it's a boxing gym.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Like, I hadn't ever really focused on, like the fundamentals and techniques of boxing. So, that wasn't really, but I didn't know who I was going to walk into the gym and see.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
like,
yes.
I guess it's kind of different for other people, but like,
Yeah.
people see you as intimidating.
Yes,
It's like,
yes.
I don't see people like that.
No.
I don't know.
No.
It's weird, but I know what you mean. I was nervous, but
So-
it was.
So we tell our audience that just because it's a boxing gym, don't be scared. Y'all come on and support us. Come and train. I mean, I'm big.
All shapes and sizes.
Yes.
And it don't matter about the background either. I've trained guys that's never boxed a day in their life, and I've trained guys been doing it 7+ years.
Right.
There's not really, no time like the present, I feel like, when it comes to coming in here and doing it. And, man, that's awesome that you were like, I'm going to go in there and do it. And it led you to where you're at now. I mean, it led to you going on this amazing fitness journey.
Right.
It led you on getting in the ring, competing, and doing all that.
Right.
I mean,
Just fall in love with it, man.
And that's awesome, man.
Becomes part of your routine, and it just starts to change you for the better. You don't really see it day by day, but when you look back and you really start to realize, like,
and
how it's changed
even
you.
taking those pictures from your first day to 6 to 8 months in, dude. I mean, it was just a huge transformation. And a lot of your social medias, your TikTok videos, you post it.
Right.
I mean, what's that feel like?
Man, that was incredible. I mean, obviously, like I said, like day by day, you don't see it. Me waking up every day and looking in the mirror, seeing the same guy. I felt like I looked the same. You know, like you don't feel like you changed at all, or like the progress is so slow you don't notice it.
Whenever you was doing it, I forgot I think me and you started lifting, and we would go to the gym, and everybody would ask about you to him and be like, "Hey, that big guy, whatever. How did he do to lose all this weight?" And he would tell them. He would be like, "Well, he done this, and that."
I mean, and people. I mean, I don't know why they. And I tell everybody, I'm like, man, he dotted all his I's, crossed all his T's, kept his nose down, and grinded the whole time.
Yeah.
And they're like, "How much weight did he lose?" You actually lost 30 pounds your first month.
Yeah, it was.
And he was running, like you said, a mile a day. You was doing your full training, your weightlifting after the gym. You were fasting. I mean, doing the whole 9 yards.
Right.
And I mean, we talk about it, man. I mean, there's not a magical pill. There's not a potion.
There's not.
There's not a genie you rub on and you get through magical wishes. I mean, you have to put the work in. I mean, realistically, it's a
long, tough road, and it's no shortcuts, nothing.
Whenever you was getting the compliments with other people, whatever, or you hear from Dalton or whatever, did that make you even try even harder?
100%.
Yeah.
Because you get that. You get the support behind you. And it's like people are watching you.
Yeah.
It's like people like Dalton even told me I had people watching my videos online, coming to the gym because of my videos I was posting.
Yeah.
Like,
I would call them and tell them. I'm like, hey man, I want you to know, like somebody came to the gym today, and I was like, what made you want to come to ringside? And they're like, Dad, the bigger guy, JT.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to tell them.
Yeah.
Even now, more recent, which you've had some stuff going on in the past, you're starting to come back to the gym, consistently.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, like JT loves to hear that. And you had a guy actually say something to you, was it a gas station, like a dollar store?
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
So I went into a gas station after work one day to get gas, and the dude at the register was like, "Aren't you that guy? Or don't you box or something like that?" And it was like my first like public realization, or like somebody noticing me in public and being like, "Don't you box?" And it was like, I was like, "Yeah." I started telling him about the gym and stuff, and he was like, "Yeah, I seen that video. You losing the weight and stuff."
How do you feel?
This is crazy, dude, because otherwise it's like people but it being a complete stranger and being like, "Oh,
You got a glimpse
You're,
of that.
yeah, you're like, it's like a small town celebrity kind of feeling. Like,
I had this, matter of fact, I haven't told it. No, I think I told you. I don't know for sure.
Ooh.
It was a guy at work. He said he used to come through this road right here to West Main. And then he said, man, I came through, I was driving through there and I seen you running. I said, is that Gus running? I know his big ass ain't running out there. He might need a ride. So but then I seen people behind you. He said, oh, he's training. Oh, he be wearing that elite boxing. He said, oh, okay. So then he started asking me about it. I was like, man, I ain't trying to be funny or nothing. He said, but I seen you over there by Shell, by the gas station. I was about to pull up and see if you need a ride. But I knew I was like, I know Gus ain't running out there. I was like, man, you know what? I probably would have got in the car with you because I hate running. I was like, I would have just.
But how'd that make you feel that Gus and boxing was in the same sentence? Like, oh, I see you out there running. You must have been training. How'd that make you feel?
To be honest, I'm a little bit shy. To be honest, I'm just like shy when it comes to even. I'll be honest with you. Even when it comes to lifting, like I hate working by myself. So really, I don't look for the attention. But now, if me and you working out, or me and JT working out in public, oh man, I love it. I love it. Hey, it gives me the energy. It gives me like a boost. Just like the other day, I went weightlifting, and Buddy came out there. You know, he's a big talker. He likes to talk a lot of shit or whatever. You know, woo woo. And he was like, I had that slingshot, and the other boy was telling about the slingshot, and he was like, let me wear the slingshot, you know. You're a big guy. What do you do? I was like, man, I don't do nothing, you know, because I'm humble. I'm like, man, I don't talk shit, you know. I was like, nah, I don't do nothing, you know, whatever. So he started warming up. I usually warm up with 135. He started warming up with 225, which I know I can warm up with 225. So I was
Can
like,
you really?
Yeah, I warm up with 225. I'm just kidding.
I know Gus is good.
And then, you know, so I was just like, he over there pushing it, you know, 10 times. Shit, I read with 15. And then
I believe you threw it up and clapped like this, and then grabbed it, didn't you?
I don't know. You know, my eyes don't work. Right? You know, I didn't see it. But anyways, I mean, just like a little bit talking smack, and I know that he ain't talking smack, but a little bit of smack. You know what I'm saying? It gives me motivation or whatever. And especially like I know him or whatever. Just like when you was training me when I was trying to lose weight, I loved it. Like it was a high for me.
It just made me. I mean, you're like too humble because we put my weight on it. You're like, how did I get that? And I'm like, yeah, you got it. And I'm, you know, like a $165, 170, and I'm having to hold up all this weight. And I'm like, come on, Gus. And you're like,
giving Gus a lift
and
off.
you're shaking it. And I'm like, and he drops it. Like, you know what? And you're like this. So you're like holding it, you're shaking it, and you just go. And I'm like, man, you literally out here like really.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people tend to like show the videos when I was maxing out like 4 something or whatever, and everybody was like
4 something. Y'all hear that? 4
something. Like wait, I'm just playing. Now everybody was like, why are you having the smallest person in the gym spotting you? I said, because I trust them. I trust them.
So that's like a backhanded compliment.
Yeah.
You have the smallest guy. You got a hard line, so.
I mean, you do. I mean, you're about the only one that can give it to me perfect. Like, hey, spot me, like right there, and then if I can't get it, just grab it, and like I feel safe with you. Like I know you see me as a big guy, but I see you like Superman. Like fuck, he got me. Like you know, I mean, damn, I couldn't say damn. Speechless, man. Speechless.
That's because I'm his coach. That's what that is.
Nah,
I'll hold mitts for you tomorrow.
I can't wait. Tomorrow?
I'm just, well, you know what I mean.
Tomorrow.
I said it, coach. Y'all heard on the podcast.
Saturday.
Like he commented where he said, you can hold mitts for me tomorrow. That's awesome, man.
It is, man.
So, I mean, not taking the aspect from weightlifting, though, but what's the difference between you wanting to lift weights and boxing? What's the difference between that mentally?
Because I have so much fun out here. Like, there again, like, when I do lift, it just depends who I'm around with. Like, if I go by myself, I know I'm not going to do nothing. Like, I know for a fact. Now, if I go with somebody that I'm comfortable with, like, I can kick it, I can talk, I can have a conversation, they can push me. Man, I love weightlifting. But every time I come in here, it don't matter if I'm having a bad day, a good day, or whatever day I'm having, I know I'm going to try at least to do 110% here.
Right.
Because I got you, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Oh, I got the guys in here. Mm-hmm. I got Chase, Caleb, JT, David. Even when Edwin was coming, you know, Edwin, he's a different breed.
Yeah,
Edwin is an animal.
Dude.
I mean, shout out to
El Tigre.
Shout out to El Tigre. Hey, he is an animal. Because whatever he makes his mind to do, if even boxing or lifting,
yeah.
he's gonna give it 120%. And I wish I had the mindset like he does. I wish I had that heart that he has, because he inspired. He's another person that inspired me. You know, just like JT inspired me. He's another person that inspired me, because I mean, like, I weightlifted with him, and then he pushed me so hard that I be like, I don't think I can do this. Yeah, you are. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. And then even when he called pads, he'll be like, "You messed up. You got it though. You got it." He might smack you a couple of times, or you know what I'm saying. Like, but with you do it more love, you know, with patience. And I think he's just trying to get us better, because I think he sees us up here.
He sees that potential the same way I do. You know
but he sees it like he's like the dad and you like the mom. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta do it, boy. And then, man, I don't really know what. No, you are. Ain't no on this. And I'm like, man, but you know,
like, you know, like I said before, everybody has their puzzle piece. You know what I mean? Like, he brings another good part in the team as well. You know, everybody has their own individual piece that brings us all together, and that's awesome. I mean, back and forth with boxing. I mean, it's just a whole different mindset, isn't it? I mean, it's like, you know, when you weightlift, you're like, oh yeah, I gotta pick this up. Yeah, but when you box, it's like, I gotta keep my hands up. I gotta make sure my foot moves. I gotta make sure I'm keeping my chin down. I gotta make sure this, and this. And I feel like it builds you up mentally as well, because you have to hold all this information and hold yourself accountable to do it. Because even hitting mitts, you're like, oh, it clicked. Because you'll go from like sparring and hitting mitts.
I think another thing, just like I've been doing this for a year and a couple months. And I thought I knew everything about, you know, jab. You know, when somebody first come here, you always teach them the basic, how to throw or whatever. And I didn't done that. I didn't do a fresh class maybe 6-7 months. I mean, because, you know, we ain't had no new people 4 o'clock. And then one day, you know, I was like, kind of like, my elbow was hurting when I was hitting bags. My shoulder was hurting. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Am I doing something wrong? And I remember some couple of guys came in, and you told me, you was like, hey, I got to show these. We're going to shadow boxing. I got to show these. Just be patient, you know. I know you're a little bit advanced or whatever, you know, but we'll get there. I said, okay, that's fine. So then you took it back to square one. And then when I done it again, it made sense. I was like, oh, well, no wonder my elbow was hurting, because I'm doing it like I'm twisting it wrong. You're supposed to keep it straight or whatever, and this and that. So sometimes you might have to go to the basic to, you know, to get where you want to be.
So now let's flip that question and ask JT, who had a fight. To that was the basics, and you know, your first fight. You've been on that big stage.
90% of my fight that night was a jab. So I mean,
which is the
most basic punch.
Yes.
Like they say, a good right hand will take you around the block, but a good jab will take you around the world.
My man.
And I come in here, you know, we would work on the heavy bag and focus on that lead hand, man. It's just.
So what do we do after every combo?
Double jab. Jab. At least
You
one.
gotta, yeah.
At least one.
After every combo, you throw a jab.
At least.
So my whole coaching philosophy is the basics. You know what I mean? You know, sharpen that blade that you use to go to battle with. I mean, just keep sharpening up. You know, you can't get too sharp. You know what I mean? I want my guys to look beautiful. Even if he's been boxing 8 months or a year, I want him to look like he's been doing it 5 years.
Right.
He's been doing it 5 years, I want him to do it 10. Like, I want these guys to, and that goes for anybody that comes to my gym. I want them to look, you know, they know what they're doing.
We come in here and train like pros.
Yeah.
And you
don't come in here like
even on the cardio classes that I do, you always tell us, don't do it fast. Do it slow.
I'd rather do it slow and right than do it fast
and wrong. Yes, you always tell us that. And I mean, because I always want to do it fast. I always want to hit it hard. I always want to beat the bag, and then maybe that's why my elbow's hurting. Well, maybe that's why my shoulder's hurting, because I'm over there beating it to death.
I mean, you know, boxing is just like anything that you do in life. You know, just sometimes you need to just slow it down and get it right.
Right.
You know, they always say there's 2 ways of doing something. The right. Right.
See, so I always tell like guys I'm like mentoring at work or something, like if you don't have time to do something right, you're gonna make time to do something right.
I agree. Right, because you're gonna have to go back and do it again.
Exactly.
And I remember watching you hit pads, and you'd get a little upset and, you know, mad at times. Like, I want to get it right. I'm like, just slow it down. Let's slowly speed it up. You know, quit trying to go from 0 to 100. Let's just build it up, and then you got it. And then now, I mean,
See, I was trying to be like Drake, through 100 real quick.
You
That don't work.
I mean, you were, and you would, but you know, there's a thin line in between that you need to really focus on. You know, it's not that there's 0 and 100 that means the most. It's that thin line in the middle.
Right.
That's where things get a little, blurry.
It's like they say on your tombstone. It's not about the date, you know, at the beginning and at the end. It's about that dash in the middle.
Ooh.
Yep. So, and that's what it is on mitts. You know what I mean? 0 and 100. Let's just fix up. Let's clean up that, and then you can go 0 to 100. Look good when you do it. You know what I mean? So you got to watch JT, you know, progress as a fighter and stuff. Would you say that motivated you, inspired you from your position?
Yeah, it did, most definitely. I mean, because it's just like I told you, you know, I used to come in here, and then I used to see him either lifting weights, jump rope, shadow box. I mean, you didn't even have to tell him nothing. He would just come in here, do his thing, what he got to do, and I'm like, well, because I don't know if you noticed, I'm the type of person that if you don't tell me, I'm not going to do it. If you don't tell me, I'm just going to sit down and clown with people, you know what I'm saying? So you got to stay on me. With JT, that's another thing that I kind of admire about JT. You don't have to tell him. Like, just like Chase, just like Caleb. You don't have to tell them. You don't have to be holding their hands. You got, person like me, you're going to have to hold my hand. And I admit it. You're going to have to hold my hand and tell me, Gus, you're going to have to do this. Like, and
we worked out before at the gym, and you said it kind of motivates you when I do that.
You do. It does.
Because you and I see it. You can hold me sometimes. You're like I know I'm getting on your nerves, but it's because I've worked with you enough that I know when you're on cruise control and when you gas it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll see you over there like barely hitting the bag, and I'll go over like, "Hey, Gus, turn up." You're like, "Okay, I'm going." Because you want to be motivated.
Yeah.
And I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
You even mentioned before too. You're like a part of me wants to get trained by JT. Because I've seen him do it, and I think he can motivate me.
Yes.
You want to elaborate on that?
Oh, yes. I mean, like, just for example, like, I'm still trying to lose weight or whatever, and it's hard for me. Well, it ain't hard for me to lose weight. It's just I like to eat a lot. And, I mean, he lost 30 pounds in a month. I mean, I can take notes from him. He can tell me, hey, you know, you got to do this, you got to do that. And that's why I look up to JT, that I hold JT up here.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know what I'm saying? And, I mean, like, and I know that for a minute he would come in or whatever, and, you know, we had to talk.
Right.
Or whatever,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And you explained to me what's going on or whatever, and I respect you even more because I didn't want to step on your toes. I didn't want to be like, I was kind of mad because I was like, man, you know, like I look up to you. Like, you know, when a little kid look up to a superhero or whatever, and then they bring him
and he
down.
wants to be around that superhero.
Yeah,
he wants to be around him.
Yeah.
Right.
But then, just again, you shouldn't judge nobody. You never know what other people are going.
Because you would ask me, "Hey man, when's JT coming?"
Yeah, and you never did tell me nothing. You never tell me nothing. You always.
Ain't my story to tell.
Ain't my story to tell. Yeah, like you'll figure it out, or you find out, and then you know what I'm saying. But then when he told me whatever, I was like, yes, he's coming back. And then I don't know if you noticed, I hate doing footwork. And that time when he came back, I think it was the first week that he came back.
Right.
Me and him paired up. And I done footwork, and I loved it. I was like, oh, man.
All I needed was JT?
Yeah.
That's all I needed was JT. That's all I needed was JT.
Yeah.
Man, would you say, like, you know, being in that ring and fighting, like, did that bring another mindset back to the gym?
Oh, 100%. Because in the ring, like, when you're competing, you don't realize how far your body will go. Like, your body will go so much more, like, further than your mind will let it. You know what I mean? Like, your mind is going to make you quit before your body will, if that makes sense. So, coming back after the fight, it's like, and you got a lot more gas in the tank, you know? Like, you can push yourself this much harder, you know? It's like, it really does open up. It's like a third eye almost.
And that fight was last
summer, last June.
June 4th?
June 4th. Yep.
And, dude, that's just, like, you know, guys that come back from their first fight, man, I know Chase said the same thing, that, I mean, it was just like, wow. Like, I thought I was in good shape.
Right.
And then I got in there and I was like, man, I'm nowhere
No,
near
it's like
what
you
I
thought you were ready, you thought you knew what you were getting into, and then it's like you go in there and try to take dude's head off for
and he's doing the same
2
thing.
minutes. Yeah,
he's doing the same
6
thing
minutes
to you.
total. Exactly. You know, it's different when you hit the heavy bag. You don't have somebody throwing punches back at you. You know,
yeah, you can cruise on a heavy bag,
right?
But when you have somebody in front of you moving around,
right.
trying to take your head off, and it's not just a physical workout, man. I mean, it's mental too.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, what do I got to do to avoid this, or what can I do to get him before he hits me?
Like, what do I do to score points here? You know, I have to keep going. How much time's left? Because I'm tired.
What was that? Yeah. What was that? Mentally, take us through that 6 to 8 week training camp. What was that like going through mentally?
Mentally, man, it's a different mindset you have to be in. You really have to be dedicated to it. Like you can't just be like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You have to be all the way over the fence.
I mean, training camp is sunshine and rainbows, right?
Oh, I mean, the second part, not so much, but it's definitely sunshine because we keep it hot,
Man, training camp as a coach it's not supposed to be. I mean, people think like, oh, I want to do what the fighters do, and I give it a little taste.
No, you don't.
And they hate it because, man, when you get in there, like, as a coach, I need to let you feel that mental, like, oh man, dude, this is gonna be so much of it is mental, not just physical.
Oh yeah,
like, can I handle this? Am I ready for this?
It's a roller coaster.
And preparation is key. Being able to prepare yourself for that.
Right.
And I mean, you did it. Did you think you were prepared going in there?
Oh yeah, I mean, going in, I thought I was prepared, and then you have like that adrenaline crash, and it's like all the energy leaves your body, and it's like you're just so tired. You're heavy, you can't move. Like that's not something you can prepare for.
No.
Like you come in here and you can train cardio, you can train mitts, everything, but the nerves that day, like just getting there super early and weighing in and not knowing who your opponent is, just looking around, scouting competition, and like being
because we actually thought it was another guy.
Yeah.
Like whenever we get there, and this is something you really talk about a lot. Like the day of the fight, like we get there, and I'm whispering to my guy, like, man, that might be him. And then you have like the other guys outside the gym, like Caleb was like, man, I think that might be him.
Yeah.
And I actually believe Caleb knew who the guy that he was fighting. Like Caleb's like, man, I've been eyeballing him the whole time. I knew that's who he was fighting. And because everybody, we're all really tight units. So if JT's fighting somebody, we're all fighting somebody.
Right.
So the whole time looking around.
Yeah. What in my Caleb voice? He wants to smoke. He can get it.
Dude. David, like on fight day, dude, I mean, I love talking about it. I love thinking about it. I love going back randomly and just looking at it.
Looking at videos. And
pictures, being there, man. I mean, it was just such an amazing feeling, man, and watching.
We didn't walk away with the three-peat. I thought we did, but
we know what
besides
we feel in our
that,
hearts.
you couldn't have written it any better. Dude.
Oh, dude, I mean, just being there and then come back in the locker room, and I remember you're so tired after fighting, dude. You're sitting down in the chair. And I'm like, nah, but we got something.
Yeah, and I picked up
JT, and I remember holding them, and we're jumping, like just screaming in the locker room, man. And it's so funny because you go back to it, man. That day, that's where they did weigh-ins.
Right.
And
it wasn't even a locker room.
It wasn't, but to us, that was our spot, man.
That was room.
Because we got there first for weigh-ins, and then they went ahead and weighed in. And anytime they bring in another gym to come and weigh in, they'd ask us to leave, so we'd go out. And then go right back in.
As soon as they
go right back in. And there were guys that walk in there, and we have a pretty good crew with us at all times. And they'd walk in, and we're like, "Oh man, this is taken." They're like, "Oh my fault, I'm sorry." They shut the door, and we had the whole room like all day.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys were comfortable. They wasn't out there like I know it gets really nerve wracking whenever you're getting wrapped up, you're training in the venue, and you hear the fights going on. It just gets that much nerves. Like I know being a coach, like a lot of the fights I've been to and have my guys in. Whenever you're getting wrapped up and there's literally fights going on the other side of that curtain, like you're getting wrapped up and you hear the thuds and you hear the people screaming and you hear out of the red corner and you're just like, oh, that's gonna be me.
That's one step closer to my fight.
Yeah, and you're like, that's gonna be me, and you're just going through these emotions and.
It doesn't help when you're like one of the last fights of the night.
It
was like 28, 29.
Let's talk about that, man. Like going through that emotional roller coaster. What was that like?
Like you was talking about earlier, eyeballing competition and stuff. Nobody knew who I was fighting. I didn't know, and being a big guy, it's easier to pick out competition in a crowd.
Because you're like, that's a big guy.
That's him. Yeah, and there's only so many of us, in the Southeast LBC or whatever, and so my competition was sitting down the entire time, man. He wasn't walking around. I didn't see him once, but
that's actually smart on his behalf.
Right.
That he was like, now I know how the game works. I'm gonna sit down and they're gonna know who I am. They're gonna be able to size me.
Very smart.
And there was I love the part, man, before we're about behind, we're getting ready to walk out for you to take stage. And I remember JT pacing back and forth, and he could go, ain't nothing sweet over here. Ain't nothing sweet over here. Like, just getting in that zone, man.
Right.
Like, it's almost like, because you used to play football, right?
Right.
It's kind of like you're getting yourself hyped up for the big game. Like, you're like, oh, I'm ready to go out here. And
let me ask you something. Which one was nervous? Having your baby girl or the fight?
Oh, dude,
that is
I'll
a
tell you right
beautiful
now.
question.
Definitely having my baby girl, but yeah, it was wild, man.
He said it's 3 fights versus
All
Yeah.
3
these.
rounds versus like 17, 18 hours of waiting, and
Oh man,
But yeah,
that y'all stay along for the journey. Even posting up Ringside Elite first. Opening up
100%.
105 Sampson Street. We first opened up the gym. I'd always say, stay tuned for the journey. Stay tuned for the journey, and then it's leading us
But
here.
wait, there's more.
And we never know. Yeah, right. But wait, there's more. There's always room to grow. There's always room for growth. And this is just another stepping stone to where we may end up next. And I love it. Just being able to sit back and watch it with you guys.
A year and a half, man.
Yeah.
This is how far it's come in a year and a half. It's insane.
Yeah. And
It
I
is
know,
insane.
I know you've asked me, whenever you was training guys out of your garage, did you imagine you would be where you are now?
Right.
And I mean, no. I didn't think it'd be this. I always imagined myself owning a gym. I've always took up boxing and loved it. I changed my life. I feel like I can change somebody else's.
100%.
And then, you guys being like, did you think it'd be here? A year and a half? No. We're starting to wrap up the podcast, man. Is there anything you guys want to talk about or say before we...
No, I think
just thank y'all for having me on here as a guest, man. Appreciate
Hey,
it.
absolutely, man. We'll definitely be seeing you again. Thank you for tuning in on the podcast and watching us. We got to get Gus out the mud.
Yeah.
Yes.
One way or another.
Gus out the mud.
Yes.
You guys, please like, comment, share, subscribe, tell
Your mama, your dad, your stepdad, the side dude, the side chick, the stepson, the stepdaughter, the dog, the cat, the rabbit outside, the raccoon, everybody. Tell everybody.
People's at work.
There you have
man.
it. Tell everybody, spread the word. Thank you guys for everything.
Yep.
And time.